Get ready for a most informative show tonight. We have the magnificent Miss Karen Cherry, the owner of PRN Home Care and the Power Summit.
So You Know moments with a twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson-Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so you know, moments with a twist. Oh, talk show host, speaker, life and success strategist, author. Oh yeah. I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Just so you know, moments with a twist. Are you ready?
This Just So You Know moment is brought to you by Dr. LaShonda Jackson-Dean, Jackson-Dean Investments, and JDI Multimedia Network. Just so you know, Dr. Jackson-Dean, the TV talk show queen, the Pen Slayer, and multiple national and international best-selling author says, I am a talk show host, a speaker, a life and success strategist, and an author. I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Welcome to Just So You Know moment with a twist. I am your host, Dr. LaShonda Jackson-Dean. So everybody, let's welcome Miss Karen Cherry. Hello, Miss Cherry. How are you?
Oh, yes. I am doing fabulous.
Fabulous. That's wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for being a part of the Just So You Know moment with a twist TV talk show. So, Miss Cherry, tell us, announce to the whole entire world, just who is.
So, outside of being a speaker, coach, author, entrepreneur for over 20, almost 24 years now, if you're just counting my last business, number one best-selling author, and I love coaching people, and I'm the co-founder and director of Success Women's Conference, where we had over 17,000 people in 2020. And I'm also the founder and director of Power Up Summit and Level Up Summit. So that's me. They call me the butts in the seat queen, because one of the things I do well is get people in the audience. And I also help other people by coaching them on creating their own events. Now, so I say that because many people are having big parties around here, and we want to get away from having a big party. We want to start having events where your people leave full and you and your pockets leave full as well.
Hey, I hear you on that, because everybody knows Dr. Jackson-Dean is about her coins. So, hey, let's get them coins rolling.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Woo, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. Tell us about your PRN home care.
So our PRN home care, we've actually, like I said before, we've been in business almost 24 years. I've been in the healthcare field for 30 plus years now. My background is occupational therapy. And, my husband and I both have that background. But years ago, many years ago, we decided to cross over to doing our own business. And, I always say God can give you a little nudge and a little push to do what he's called you to do. And so we were working in the rehab field many years ago, and things changed in the field. I often tell people, COVID is not my first COVID, right? I've
Okay.
had a few. And in the rehab field back in 1999 or so, somewhere around there was a time where they just laid everybody off in the industry. That's
Oh wow.
occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, you name it, they laid everybody off. Can you imagine just getting a pink slip around the nation? And no matter who you call, they got laid off too, right?
Wow.
And so it was a wake-up call because God had already kind of showed us what he wanted us to do. We got offered previously, probably a year and a half or so before, by one of our clients that, as we were working in the nursing homes at the time, had offered us a job for my husband and I to come work directly for her and her husband. And so my husband was treating her husband in rehab, and she really, really liked the response that her husband was giving to my husband as far as recovering, because he had had a massive stroke. And
But
so
let me stop you right there
mhm.
before we get too far in it. I want you to explain exactly what is occupational therapy because everybody don't know.
That's true. That is true. So for what we do, we are typically and sometimes we describe it, we try to simplify it, but it's really not always as simple as it seems. You have physical therapy. Most people associate them with, helping you walk, get back to actually moving. And then they forget about the other pieces like reteaching you how to brush your teeth, how to put this shirt on that I got on. When you have a stroke or a heart attack or you have when you break your hip and things like that, there are a lot of things that we just take for granted
That is
that
so
we
true.
can do. And it's not. In therapy, in occupational therapy, we have hand therapists that work with people to teach them how to write and things like that. So we're actually a part of that rehab that helps a person get back to as close to normal as possible after something devastating. Now, we're also involved in some of the minor things as well. Like I said, you have a hand therapist that come in. I mean, we work in many, we even work in psych and all that other stuff as well. But I'm just trying to simplify where most people see them the most. It's typically after you've had some kind of devastating thing happen in your life where you may have had to relearn. And I'm going to be honest, right now in COVID, there are a lot of people that are going down after COVID, and they're literally needing to relearn things that they used to do. I have a friend who's actually a nurse, and she used to work with us, and she was down from about 4 months. So when she went into rehab, she had to go through physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. Because when
Wow.
you've been laying in the bed for 4 months, your muscles start to deteriorate.
That's
They
true.
start to forget what they used to know how to do. So that's when we come in and we retrain those muscles so that you can get as close to back as what we call normal to what you used to do. And you'll find people like me. I've worked with mostly seniors. So there are a lot of seniors that break their hips, break their arms, have a stroke. I mean, I can just go on and on, but and so we come in a lot of times in that situation. So
Well,
that being said,
I'm so glad that you explained what
mm-hmm,
occupational therapy is because when most people hear occupation, what do they think about? A job.
yeah,
They think about employment. And
mm-hmm,
so when you say occupational therapy, most people will probably think that this is therapy to get you back to work but it's actually to get your body back to work
Mm-hmm.
and the mind back to work. So
Mm-hmm. And we do.
occupational therapy is that's a would say a good name for it, but I don't know that maybe a better name
Well,
with
yeah. Well, what people don't realize, it's been around for centuries.
mm-hmm.
And we actually, if you look at occupational therapy, most of the field started off more in the arts industry. And just keep in mind, we also help people as far as on the job as well, because there's carpal tunnel
That's true.
and things like that, where we actually come in and we have to work with people to get dealing with ergonomics and things like that. And
Yes.
you'll actually see them more than you know. It's just that most people, when they think of rehab therapy, they're thinking of physical therapy. And
Yes, that's absolutely true. That's
right.
absolutely true. And most people that go to therapy, they're going to physical therapy more so than occupational therapy. And
Mm-hmm.
like you mentioned, with the occupational therapy, that goes along with your people who have strokes and heart attacks and things like that. But when you have the physical therapy, you're looking at people who had an accident or some type of injury where they go in to have the physical therapy done.
Well, we're actually, and again, that's where most people lump us all together.
Right.
Typically, even after an injury, you're still going to probably see physical therapy and occupational therapy. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, just because we call it layman, so you don't really know all the lingo in
Right.
hospital. You don't know all the lingo in the nursing home, and most people don't even separate us from the nursing staff, right? But there is a difference in what we all do, as far as helping you to get back to your normal, right?
Yeah.
So even if you did have an accident, say you had a motorcycle accident or something like that, you're probably going to wind up needing both physical therapy and occupational therapy.
Yeah,
But people,
depending on the extent of the accident.
there you go. That's
Hmm.
exactly right. Depending and look at what your insurance will pay for. Let's be
You
honest.
are absolutely right on that.
Because that really is what it gets down to. A lot of times, when we all were given that pink slip years ago, it had a lot to do with, we would see people. I mean, I could see a client 4 hours in a day. If they had a massive stroke, I
Hmm.
could see them 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon.
Right,
Well, let's face it, Medicare was like, we're not going to continue to pay for that. We have for years, but now we're changing our program. And
right.
so it really became frustrating for people like me, who I know people need a lot of help.
Yes,
When you have a stroke, you're devastated. The family's devastated.
yes.
So, and you want to get as close as you can. Most people want to go back to their job,
Hmm. Yeah.
and so,
You want
and
to return to your previous life
yes,
as you knew it.
as you knew.
Yeah.
Exactly. So from a rehab point, from a person who's been in the medical field, I was 8 years before. I've been a hospital clerk and worked in many variety parts of the medical field. And for me, to really be able to help the people, you need to have enough time to do that. And that became very frustrating after they changed the industry. You're not seeing people get as far. Now they have brought some of that back, but not as much as it used to be. I've seen, and my husband tells a story about one of the guys he worked with. He got hit by a Mack truck.
Oh
That man
wow.
was not able to even walk because he walked in front of the Mack truck. He tried to commit suicide. He
Mm.
wasn't able to walk. But when my husband and the team worked with him, they literally saw that man walk out of that building. Now,
Wow.
for us, for the rehab side, that is amazing.
That's a
That's,
blessing.
yes. And it's not only rewarding to them because we are so thrilled, but it's rewarding for us to know
Absolutely.
that this person couldn't even put his feet on the ground. And
Yes.
now we have allowed this person to literally walk out the building. That ain't nothing but, I always say nothing but God using our hands to grab a hold of people and snatch them back to
Yes.
our life. So, and so anyway, and the other thing is for us, I am a God-fearing person. So I like to be able to pray over my clients and to help them through what they're going through and their caregivers, because let's face it, the caregivers are going through as well.
Yes, they
So,
are.
Someday my prince will come. Someday we'll meet again to be happy forever. I know a dream when you're fast will come. Someday we'll meet again to be happy forever. I know a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the wish that you make will come true. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the wish that you make will come true.
Yes, they are.
So we've just been blessed enough. Once we were called out of the rehab field and to focus more on doing what we do, which is our home care business, taking care of the elderly and disabled in their home. We serve a lot of veterans as well. We've been fortunate enough to help people stay at home, some in assisted living, personal care home, some people we serve in the nursing home. But because they have those extra pair of eyes, that caregiver has peace of mind.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Exactly. So we just been fortunate. I have to say, nothing but God has allowed us to be in business this long. So I'm thankful.
Yes, that's wonderful. So I love the fact that you work with veterans, whether you know it or not. I'm a veteran as well. I was in the Air Force, my husband as well.
Okay. I did not know that, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My husband is retired Air Force, and I just got out. Well, I did my time and I left. But you know what? I only left because I had so many jobs calling for me to come out, and that was the only reason why I left. But I had my issues while I was there in the military, but overall, I enjoyed being in the military. I really did.
Well, I can honestly say I enjoyed being a spouse to my husband who was in the military. For But I respect all the women as well who have served their time. And to be honest, I'm meeting a lot of y'all. A lot of women who have served their time, and I don't think we know or recognize how many women who have
That's
served.
all right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't get the acknowledgement and the recognition that we deserve because trust me, the women go through a lot in the military. But that's a whole nother episode to even talk about. But yeah, we go through a lot. What branch was your husband in?
Well, he initially started in Coast Guard and then he went ahead and switched over to Army.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we were in Germany 5 years and then Arizona.
Yeah, I started off Army. Army Reserve, and then I went full-time Air Force.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So where were you stationed at? Because I mean, we're where I'm located. We have Keesler Air Force Base, which is where I started one of my first real jobs, I should say, after high school. So yeah. So you were in the Air Force. Where?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I was stationed in San Antonio at the Brain Institute, Brooks Air Force Base.
Yeah.
But I went to all the different installations because of the job I was in. I was a engineer while I was in the Air Force, and
Wow.
so I went to so many of the different bases because I was doing different types of tasks and jobs there. So, like I said, I really did enjoy. I would say 85% of my time in the Air Force. So, but back to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Back to you. Now, let me ask you a question in regards to your PRN. Now, you said that you business. So, what do? Do you have a brick and mortar where they come and do the rehabilitation, or do you do like home visits?
So now we do have our own office and stuff where we have take applications and things like that. But really and truly, we're in the home.
Okay.
So we actually do what is called non-medical service, where we're doing running errands, cooking, cleaning, giving baths, things like that. So it really allows the caregiver to focus on their job, because a lot of caregivers are still working, right?
Hence the name PRN, as needed.
You got it. Now, everybody don't get that, but yeah, you got it.
In one chapter of my life, I was in nursing school.
See, the sad thing is, that's why I started. I started off saying I'm gonna be a nurse. And then I was like, you know what? When we got to Arizona, I was like, whatever part of that medical field I can get in, I'm getting in.
Yeah, I was a nurse. Nursing school, and I got into my clinicals and realized this was not for me, and so I essentially dropped out of RN school to go and get my engineering degree. And so I figured that was more down my alley than nursing. So I progressed from that point on to everything else besides nursing. I don't know. I have so many nurses in my family. I think we have enough, so they didn't need me to walk in those footsteps with them. I think they got it under control.
So I'm gonna tell you where we overlap. So when I was in high school, prior to being pregnant with my son, my plan was to be an engineer.
Wow!
Because my brother that's right a year younger than me, and the one that's more younger than me, both of them engineers.
Okay.
So that was the plan. And then I got pregnant, and then I was like, well, what could go better? What would go better and allow me to raise my son? And it was nursing. But, as things would have it, I wasn't able to even get into nursing because Arizona, everybody was applying to be a nurse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like 600 and something people on the waiting list.
Wow, pretty saturated.
Yeah, it is.
But the funny thing about saturation, we used to let that type of thing stop us, but now everything that you go in is saturated. So you just have to carve out your own piece to take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we got a lot in common there, huh?
Yeah, we do. We do. And I agree with you. I do feel like that most people need to understand it. You know, don't feel like somebody else might get yours, or you won't have an opportunity. It's really about carving out your niche in whatever you're
Exactly.
doing, you know.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I've always said that, people, they fight and bite and scratch and pull for these little areas that they call themselves own, when you don't own it. You don't own none of this. Nothing out there, you own it. And it's enough out there for all of us to not only eat, but to eat well.
Mhm.
But
Exactly.
until it's actually phantom in everybody's mind, we're gonna always be in the position that we in, and and that's the scratching and pulling. Well, they scratching and pulling. I'm not scratching and pulling because I feel like what's for me is for me. I feel like all of my clients, all my customers, and everything already assigned to me. I don't want anybody else's customers or clients. I have my own, and all that I don't have, whoever the Lord has assigned to me will find me, or I will find them. And so it's enough out there for us all.
And you know what? Also, we have the global ocean now, y'all.
Hmm.
If you have opportunity to
Everywhere.
reach out across the world,
Yes.
I do say, and I love to remind people, if we didn't get nothing else from COVID,
Hmm.
we got people tuned in on this internet all the time. So whatever you're selling, there's somebody that needs what you have.
Right. Yeah. You just have to branch out. You have to branch out and look other places. And get out of your own little corner.
Right, right,
People try to own a corner when nobody really owns a corner. The corner is open for everybody, even though it may look like it's going in like that, but it's actually every day it's widening and open more and more and more. And so you just have to get out of that and go and find what's for you.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of the Just So You Know moment with a Twist TV talk show. We enjoyed you tonight. And so we're going to sign off, and let's do so by doing our Princess Wave to everyone. Bye bye for now. And to learn more about Dr. Jackson-Dean and the books and services that I offer, please visit me online at www.drlashondajacksondean.com. See you next time on Just So You Know moment with a Twist TV talk show. Bye bye.
This is Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so